Welcome, Gunrunner.
Hi everybody, Q&A Clever Lad here, and I'm back with another magazine retrospective for you. Vintage. I look at some vintage magazines from back in the day, of course, and I've got something actually a little bit different this time round to pretty much everything else I've probably done in terms of magazines on the channel. Number one, it's an American magazine, although I have looked at some American magazines before, EGM and GamePro, and secondly, it's not a traditional magazine, but it does very much link into the latter of those, because it's not GamePro, it's S.W.A.T Pro. As you can see here, that one at the front doesn't have a cover on it, unfortunately. But I have 3 issues of this that came in my giant magazine bundle that I picked up some time ago. So I thought it would be interesting to look at it nonetheless. And for those that don't know, so S.W.A.T Pro is a spin-off of GamePro that was basically just like a tips and cheats magazine. There was odd ones of these about in the UK back in the day, but they would usually just be kind of one-off specials, or they'd be given away free with like a regular magazine or something. I don't remember there really being a regular sort of monthly magazine that just did tips and cheats. There was one, I think, much later on, sort of in the PlayStation era. I think there was something like that, but certainly not back in the kind of 16-bit era, which is when this was. Because if you look, this is Genesis, Sega CD, Super NES, NES, Game Boy, and Lynx. The main formats that GamePro covered. Interestingly, no TurboGrafx 16 there, which seems strange. That is on the other one over there. The other one I've got does say TurboGrafx 16 on there. So, video game strategies, weapons, and tactics. That's what the SWAT bit stood for. Very clever indeed. But we'll have a look at these anyway. They're probably not going to be massively interesting because of it mainly being tips and cheats, but you never know what else is going to be in here. Obviously, because they're American magazines as well, they're very heavy on adverts, as we found out when we looked at GamePro and EGM on here before. That literally about half the magazine is adverts. Interesting thing about this is it says the game rating system, so obviously gives some of the games ratings from when they reviewed them. Another interesting thing I noticed when I started flicking through this is the papers. Really strange. It's like, when you first started getting recycled paper and it was really rough, you could totally tell the difference between recycled paper and new paper because it was so coarse, thick, and rough. That's basically what this is like. So I can only assume it was made with recycled paper. But ask the pros. So obviously it's people asking for help with certain games and them delivering by saying, yeah, this is what you do. And then we kind of go into some regular stuff after that. So it's split into formats there. So obviously Mega Drive as I know it, or Sega CD. It's got Duo, Turbo Duo, obviously same as TurboGrafx 16. Got Game Boy there, which I didn't say on the cover of the other one we just looked at either. So that's in here as well. It'd be interesting to see how much Link stuff is in here actually. I had a quick flick through these, but I haven't looked at them in detail. The Fido Dido game, the Mega Drive version of that never came out actually. Codes, we've got action replay codes in here as well. I'm sure there's a lot of Americans who watch my channel who probably remember S.W.A.T Pro. So a special feature, Super Street Fighter 2. So that's the kind of thing that you definitely buy a magazine like this for, because you've got a list of every single move there, which is invaluable. I remember buying an issue of GamePro back in the day that I saw in the news agents, literally because it had a guide to Primal Rage in it, and I just bought the Jagu CD version of Primal Rage, and it was so helpful for learning all the moves and all the secrets and stuff. Brilliant. So Mortal Kombat as well. Strategy guide. That's pretty big, as you can see. Super secret codes. So, for example, to get the blood on some of the versions. Jurassic Park guide, Mega Drive. Pretty decent game. Soldiers of Fortune, aka Chaos Engines, we better know it over here. Aladdin, which version is it? Both or? Didn't see there actually. It looks like the Mega Drive version though. Yeah, so as I suspected, on some of them. Although it's a guide, they tell you what they gave it when they reviewed it. So they're kind of getting that in there as well, which I think is actually a good idea, because you can see what they thought of it as well. Shinobi 3, brilliant Mega Drive game. That I absolutely loved it as well. You can see by the rating. It's so good. Never played it back in the day. I played it more recent years, but I was so impressed with it when I got it. I've got it on my 3DS actually. I'm pretty sure. Area of the Acrobat. I picked that up quite recently actually for the Mega Drive. It's quite hard to find for Mega Drive, and I got it in a big lot of other stuff. So that's probably my most recent Mega Drive pickup. Batman Returns, which is the cartridge version. I've got the CD version there as well, I just noticed. Empire Strikes Back on the SNES. Super Mario All-Stars, so SNES again. With the ultimate gaming rig. Just phone this number, which charges you £5 a minute. More Super Mario All-Stars. Mega Man 6. Goes into Sonic Chaos. We've got a Game Gear guide there. I haven't seen anything for links yet, though, really. Or there, Pro Challenge board. I don't see anything links there either. It's essential Game Gear stuff, but yeah, nothing for links. Despite them saying it includes links. Game Boy Game Gear Duo. This is not no links there either. That's a bit rubbish, isn't it? This one has got no links in it at all. They completely missed out the links. How strange. Let's go to this one then. Next. Does it even say that's... oh, it does down there. July 1993. So kind of end of the 16-bit generation. Well, not the complete end, but as the they were the current gen, if you know what I mean, the end of that then being the current gen, because obviously that would have been just a couple of months before stuff like the Jaguar and the 3DO launched. So actually we have got some links in this one. There we go. We've got some times for California games, and we've got a top score for Gates of Zendocon as well. Some little tips and cheats and codes and stuff. Like we saw in the other one. This one looks a bit smaller than the last one we looked at actually. Same kind of rough paper. So Pro Review, Genesis Road Rash 2. So this one actually isn't all tips and cheats, and they did sneak some reviews and stuff in. Obviously to pad it out, they obviously maybe didn't have enough tips and cheats, I don't know. But Road Rash 2 is one of the best games on the Mega Drive. Oh, see, and then they've put that afterwards. That's quite a good way of doing it then, isn't it? But it is one of my favourite games on the system. I love Road Rash 2. And I said that for the humans there, on the bottom. World of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. God, they love that, didn't they? Look at all the 5s it got. Wow. Not a fan of those kind of games because I don't really like platformers. Shadow of the Beast 2. Mega Drive. Again, so they've done a review and then gone into a guide for it. Done the same thing there. Mr. Willie Beamish. That's Mega CD. Sega CD, as it was called in North America. Simpsons Bart's Nightmare. Right mix of stuff in this issue then. Mario Kart. Tiny Toons. Alien 3. Good game. That's the Nintendo version. Super Mario 2, The Golden Coins. Quite a bit of Mario in this one, isn't there? Dracula. Oh, cool. Bram Stoker's Dracula for the Lynx. So that's really cool to see, that is, actually. Very, very cool to see indeed. They've got a review, and then they've got a little little guide to it as well. So there's some nice... there is some nice links content in this one then, isn't there? They loved it as well. Look, 4s and 5s, really good. And VF Joker to 220. Cybernator on the back. So it looks just a Dracula index. Okay. And the last issue here that I've got is from May 1993. It's a couple of months before that last one, actually. Over there. And we've got Mega Man 5 on the cover. We've also got Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in it, among other things. Wonder Dog, you can see some stuff there. Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt, Super Advantage joystick. So this one hasn't got that rough paper. This has got that shiny, glossy paper that GamePro and EGM had. That's actually opposite. It's really, really thin, but really good quality and really glossy. So it's actually totally different paper. And more what I was expecting the other ones to be, actually. It's funny that they were that kind of rough paper. Here's all our little tips and cheats. Snow Brothers, so love that on the Game Boy. One of my favourite Game Boy games. So good, Snow Brothers Jr. Sonic 2, Does It Strike? Hurricane Game Boy, impressive port actually. Lemmings there. This is a Mega Man 5, so similar to the other one where they've got the review and then they go into the tips and cheats for that game as well. Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. There's Cybernator on Super Nintendo. God, they love that. Look, 5s all across the board. Wow. Robocop 3, Super Nintendo. I thought that was supposed to be really rubbish, but they liked it. I've always heard it's really rubbish. Declare War. Oh, what a cheesy picture that is. My God. Taz on the Mega Drive. God, they loved that. I always thought it was not great, to be honest, Taz. Then again, I don't like platform games. I like the animation on it, though. Alien 3. So we had the Nintendo version before, so now we've got the Mega Drive version in this issue, which I really liked. It was a good game. It is a good game still. And I'd say was really. Hyperstone Heist on the Mega Drive. Brilliant game. Bought it back in the day. Absolutely loved it. So much nostalgia for that game. Slightly different to the arcade game, of course. It's kind of like a cross between the arcade game and Turtles in Time on the SNES. It's kind of a cross between the two. Very good though. Wonder Dog there, which they loved. Really good platformer actually on the didn't really need to be on Sega CD, we didn't need it on CD, but it was good. TurboGrafx 16, so we got something on the TurboGrafx at least. Shapeshifter. Star Wars, that's Game Boy. Sonic the Hedgehog Mega Drive again, so we've got a bit on that. No links in this issue at all either. So it's just that one issue that had links in. Advert for Bubsy, that's quite funny. And a nice advert for Turtles in the back, so that's it. That is S.W.A.T Pro magazine. Something a bit different, tips and cheats type magazine. Yeah, but never seen it before. Never saw it back in the day because it was never available over here. So obviously this was the first time I'd actually ever seen this magazine, was picking up these old issues. Interesting concept. I quite liked these issues where they had the reviews and then the tips and cheats afterwards. Made it a bit more interesting. Gave it a bit more content as well. Just a shame there wasn't a bit more links content in there, maybe. But yeah, hope you enjoyed my look at S.W.A.T Pro anyway. And I thank you for watching as always. And I will see you all again for the video very soon. Bye bye.